Happy Camper Radio with Skip Huber.
It is the Happy Camper Radio Show. Hello, everybody. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. And no doubt about it, my friends, I'm going to do my best to make a happy camper out of you. It's episode 177, and on today's show, we're going to be talking with a gentleman from the Houston, Texas area who specializes in taking young kids on camping trips. These kids come from foster homes and single-parent households. It's a wonderful interview. I know you're going to enjoy it. Andrew J. Martin joins us on today's edition of Happy Camper Radio.
Happy Camper Radio.
And, of course, the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners just like yourself. You can find us in the iTunes Store and Podbean, MyRoGuide, Stitcher, the BlackBerry Podcast Directory, iHeartRadio, and on Google Play Music. Tell your friends to tune in to Happy Camper Radio today. You can get in touch with us here at the Happy Camper Radio Show by calling 404-537-2267. That's 404-537-CAMP. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to Circles on Google+, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to www.happycamperradio.com. You'll find all of our social media icons right there on the homepage. You click on any one of them, subscribe to us, and we give you a shout-out on the program. And I've got a few folks who signed up this past week. I want to take a moment to recognize them. First of all, to Nick Van Dyke of Hudsonville, Michigan, Stephen Douglas of Florence, Massachusetts, Brad Paulson of Memphis, Tennessee. They like us on Facebook. And finally, to Lisa Niver. She's following us this week on Twitter. Thank you all so very much, each and every one of you. So glad to have you on board. And more importantly, thank you for being a part of this great Happy Camper Radio family. Would you like to be a guest on the show? I would love to have you. All you got to do is get in touch with me. Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. Anything in the world of camping you want to talk about, we'll make that happen. Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. Folks, this past week, I had the opportunity of meeting a very fine gentleman, and I was extremely touched by his story, and I'm happy to have him on the program today. If you're out in the Houston, Texas area, you've got to look this guy up. Andrew J. Martin of a group called the Hearts of the Father. Now, Andrew specializes in authentic Texas-style camping trips for kids who come from single-parent households and kids who live in foster care. Folks, you think about this for a moment. A lot of kids today look at the activities they're involved in. Of course, sports is always a good thing, but outside of that, what are kids doing? A lot of them are hanging around the house, watching television, playing video games. I don't know a kid today that doesn't own a smartphone. And every time you see a kid, they've got their smartphone in hand. They're talking to somebody. They're playing games or doing something. But what kids aren't doing these days are enjoying the outdoors and everything that nature has to provide to them. Well, our next guest is doing some wonderful things in the Houston, Texas area, and many kids out there are really blessed to have a guy like him, and we've got him on the show today. Let's go to the phones.
Happy Camper Radio. Happy Camper Radio.
And we are so delighted to have on the Happy Camper Radio Show from the Houston, Texas area, Andrew J. Martin. Hello, Andrew. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Skip. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Andrew, my heart goes out to you folks out there in Houston. I know I hope you weren't affected too badly by the recent hurricane that went through there. But I know based on the news reports that we have had in this area, Houston got hit pretty bad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, bad is an understatement. Everything, all the pictures that you've seen, that is real life. I was actually fortunate. My home didn't get flooded, but my parents' house got flooded. And the scary thing that people are realizing that homes that were not in a flood zone got flooded. So 75% of Houston didn't have flood insurance. So FEMA's helped out, and people have donated. Literally, since my home didn't get flooded, I was one of the ones that I was on boats. Me and a buddy grabbed his pontoon boat, and we went out, and we were in the water, and we were rescuing people. And it's contagious. You just couldn't sit at home if you were fortunate, and just sit there. You had to go help. It was just something inside, the spirit of, as a person, to go help somebody that's in need.
Well, Andrew, from what I know of you so far, you are just that kind of a guy. You are head of an organization out there in the Houston area called the Hearts of the Father. And before I go ahead and talk about this, let me say, if I had a way to do it, I would clone 1,000 guys just like you.
My God.
Because I'm telling you, what you are doing is absolutely wonderful for the youth of this country. There are not too many people that are taking the time out of their schedule and doing nice things like you do. Tell us a little bit about Hearts of the Father and how this is affecting youth in the Houston, Texas area.
Okay, well, the Hearts of the Father is an organization where we take boys that are in single-parent homes, whether it be single moms, single dads, aunts, uncles raising nephews, or grandparents raising grandkids. And also we take foster homes, boys that are in foster homes, and we take them on authentic Texas camping trips. We'll take them on an 18-acre ranch. We'll teach them how to set up a tent. We'll teach them how to fish. And also we'll teach them about gun safety. A lot of these kids, they've come from all over Texas. We do camps every month. And we've had kids from, the Katy area, all the way up to Dallas. We've even had a family come all the way from Mississippi to come camping. And the culture of America, obviously, we all know has changed. The motto of the Hearts of the Father is to create memories that will last forever in the outdoors. In the 80s and in the early 90s, the culture was to explore America, explore the outdoors. With the age of technology, obviously, lack of better words, families don't go outdoors anymore. They're inside. So my goal is to create that passion again, but to a special audience. Because a lot of these boys don't have either a father figure or they just have never, gone camping. And there's so much joy and passion in the adventure of going camping. So that's what we do. We keep it simple, but the memories are countless. I love taking pictures, and I love archiving stories that I've heard from parents of boys that come camping. And we allow the parents, as a matter of fact, we highly encourage, the single mom or the single dad to come out and enjoy camping. We supply the tents, we supply the sleeping bags, we supply the food, and everything is absolutely free.
Andrew, I can relate to what you're saying here because years ago, in a previous profession, I don't do this anymore, but I was in law enforcement, and one of the units that I worked in was the community relations unit, and we had a junior deputy program, and a lot of the kids that were in that program came from homes like you just described. They didn't have a father figure. It was a single-parent situation. And we had those kids only once a month. But it was a wonderful experience for them, and they looked forward to coming each and every month. Of course, we didn't go camping. I wish we would have, because we probably would have been doing that every weekend. But yes, I understand. Do you find that any of the youngsters that come into your program, the very first time they go camping are a little apprehensive about that since they've never done it before?
Absolutely. A lot of the tents that we use, they're simple 2-person, 4-person tents, depending on the situation. And some of these kids come from inside the city. A lot of the kids come from like the suburban area, and we take them out in the country. Like when we take the epitome of going to the country. And so I guess they take whatever they've heard on TV or whatever, and they assimilate that to what they're going to. And once they get out there and their tent's all set up and the campfire's going nice and strong and they meet friends, that apprehensiveness goes away, and they never knew how excited they were to roast s'mores, with people that they just met. And, it's authentic Texas. So you're gonna see campfires, and you're gonna hear country music like George Strait and Alan Jackson, and you're gonna literally create memories that'll last forever. So at the end of the camp out, you would have never known less than 48 hours ago they were scared to stay.
Amazing. Now, what is the biggest reoccurring need you have? And I'm sure these camping trips don't come cheap. You're going to have kids that come into your organization looking to go camping, and naturally, you're going to have a lot of wear and tear on your tents, your sleeping bags, and things like that. So what's the biggest reoccurring need that you find that you have today?
The biggest reoccurring need is tents. So what we do, I'm the first one to leave. I'm the first one to get there. The last one to leave. When I get back home, I'll pull all the tents out and I'll air them out. And there's broken zippers, or the a kid ripped a flap off, or it comes with the territory. So just tents, basic Walmart tents. I know a couple people have donated the durable Coleman tents, and those tents I really haven't had any problem. But overall, just simple 4-man tents.
Tents can last a very long time. And as long as they're well taken care of, and I talk about this all the time on the program, you take care of those tents are going to take care of you for a number of years. And I'm sure this is probably something else that you instill in these young kids, because no doubt somewhere down the line, they're going to want to buy their own camping equipment, and they're going to go out with some of their own friends and family members. And they're going to understand the appreciation of taking care of something that you own.
Yes.
So,
yes. I've actually listened. I am a highly big fan. I'm a borderline groupie to Happer Camper Radio. I listen to, there's different, hacks in camping. Basically, if you go camping in an area where the ground is hard, putting something down underneath a tent to create somewhat of a cushion, so it'll be more pleasurable to sleep at night, because nobody likes sleeping on hard clay ground.
You got to have something to lay on, whether it be a rollout mat, a cot. And of course, that's more that you're going to have to haul into camp. And, of course, if you're turning into an old guy like me, you want to get one of those big old air mattresses where you got plenty of room to get up and stretch around. That's just the way I do it. Of course, you're probably starting some of these youngsters off showing here's what the basics are, and then we'll go from here. How many, this is a dumb question, Andrew, but I got to ask it anyway. Of all the kids that you take on camping trips for the first time, how many have turned around at the end of the trip and says, when are we going to do it again?
Maybe 70% of them. Literally 2 weeks after a camp out, I am getting messages on Facebook or text messages. Hey, when's the next camp out? We need to know, because I never turn a kid away. Because, so, you do a camp, and a kid goes he goes for the first time, and he catches that spark. There's some kids, well, camp is not for me. But there's some kids, this is what I love. When can I go again? So, hey, we'll go again, and I'll make this kid kind of like a quote-unquote, I'll make him a leader. Like, okay, so the last camp out, you learned how to set up a tent. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to find a kid that has never been camping, and I want you to show him how to set up that same tent that you set up a month ago.
And, of course, there comes some responsibility with this, too, that I know that kids will learn, because I've taken my kids camping, and there was a time when my nieces and nephews were all very young, and it was almost like a big family reunion. We were doing it like once a year. But at the end of every meal, of course, there's going to be cleanup. You've got to wash the pots and pans out. You've got to set things up for the next meal. And everybody participates. Everybody has a role. Everybody has a responsibility. And it's something, it's not like you're asking them to go upstairs and clean their room. They're willing to get in there and help out, and that's what's so cool. I have seen that.
Yes, absolutely. The big thing is when we talk about gun safety, everyone wants to shoot guns. The guns that we use are small caliber, small 22s, and everything supervised. But that's what they want to do. They want to go camping, but they know we're going to shoot guns. So this is where the responsibility comes. So since the gun safety is really the last thing that we do before, the camp out's over. So it's their responsibility, whoever they're bunking with, to tear down their camp, their tent, roll it up, and put it in the bag. Make sure all the poles are, secured in the bag. To clean up their camping area, because when you're dealing with kids, or when you're dealing with some adults, they leave their camping area a mess. And also, if you go primitive camping, the thing is to not even to leave your campsite like nobody's been there. And
right. You only leave footsteps. I say that all the time. If you're going to leave anything, just leave your footsteps in the sand. Yes. Take everything out with you and police your campsite. So real important. You have a big event coming up here in November. Tell us about that.
Yes. November's camp out, we are having a Thanksgiving camp out, and we are going to have a creme de la creme Thanksgiving feast. Just like the Pilgrims and Indians of the days of old, the families that come camping, they're going to be presented we're going to have Thanksgiving together at this camp out. The whole turkey, the whole kit and caboodle. And then we'll camp out, and then right before they leave, we will give away 40 turkey dinners, a frozen turkey, and all the sides. So when Thanksgiving comes, they'll be able to have Thanksgiving, with their family on Thanksgiving Day.
That is so wonderful. I imagine you have a lot of people who are sponsoring you. Yes.
We have people in the community, and we actually get donations. Actually, if anybody's willing to donate, we have a donate page on our website. But once a month, we do it once a month. I'll put the ad out that we're doing a camp out, and people will come. Hey, if I can't be there physically, how can I help out? Whether it be monetarily or sending food or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, Andrew, a couple things before I let you go here. All right. You hit a nerve. I have in my possession a tent which I am going to donate to you and the youngsters.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
I have just purchased, and I was talking about this over the past couple episodes, I just brought a brand new Coleman 8-sleeper instant tent, which I haven't even broken out of the box yet. Can you believe that? A guy like me, I've had it for 3 weeks already and haven't done anything with it. Yes. That just tell you how busy I have been, but I've got a camping trip coming up here in just a couple weeks, and I'm going to break that tent in. The tent that I do have, it is a 6-sleeper, so you can get more than one youngster inside there. I got to tell you, it's been through a lot of rainstorms and everything, but I kept the rain fly on it. It's showing some signs of wear, but I guarantee you it still has at least maybe 3 or 4 good years of use. And I'm going to go ahead and get your contact information. So give me a few days to go ahead and get that cleaned up, and I'm going to send that off to you. One other thing, the good Lord willing, later down the road, maybe about 2 or 3 years from now, when I am retired, if you and I are both doing what we're doing, I am going to pack my gear into my truck. I am going to drive to Houston, Texas, and I am going to camp out with you and the youngsters.
Oh, gosh.
And not only that,
Amazing.
I am going to do my radio show from the campsite. Now, Andrew, I want you to hold me to this, okay?
I will.
All right. So that's something that you have to look forward to. But
Okay,
listen, I'll tell you, I was so delighted to pick up the phone and talk to you today. And again, if anybody would like to make a donation to the Hearts of the Father, I'm going to have a link on Happy Camper Radio. Just go to our homepage, click on the link section, and you'll find it right there. You can make a donation. Andrew is doing a wonderful thing out there in the Houston, Texas area, and I'm sure he could use your help. So, if you have any tents like I have sitting around that you could donate to Andrew, or if you would like to make a cash donation, you can do that too. Again, you'll find the link on happycamperradio.com. Andrew, I want to take this opportunity to thank you again for being on the show. Best of luck to you and the young fellas.
The pleasure's all mine, sir. It was a joy.
All right. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Folks, you just can't help but to love a guy like that. Andrew J. Martin of the Hearts of the Father. He's doing wonderful things out there in the Houston, Texas area. I was so happy to have him on the program today. And folks, I want to point out something. Just after our interview, I had an opportunity to sit down and think, and I said, no, I'm not going to go ahead and send Andrew a used tent. He deserves better than that. The kids out there that he is helping deserve a lot better than that. I went ahead and purchased for Andrew and the kids a brand new Ozark Trail 10-sleeper cabin tent. And I am so delighted that they've got it. And hopefully on their next camping trip, they're going to send some photographs to me so we can share it with all of our listeners on our Facebook page and other social media. So, Andrew, thank you so very much for talking with us. We're going to stay in touch. And if you'd like to help Andrew and the Hearts of the Father, be sure to visit their webpage. It's www.theheartsofthefather.com. You can also find a link to it on our homepage, Happy Camper Radio. Just click on the link section at the very top of the page, and you'll find it right there. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio.
And speaking of Houston, Texas, if you happen to be out in that area just northeast of the city, here is a great campground that is open year-round, and I invite you to go ahead and visit it anytime. It's the Double Lake Recreation Area. Double Lake Recreation Area was built in 1937 by Civilian Conservation Corps and offers a little of everything, including camping, fishing, swimming, picnicking, hiking, and simply relaxing in nature. A variety of tent, RV, and group campsites are available. Double Lake is stocked with bass, bream, catfish. If you're an angler, you want to bring your rod and reel with you. There are 3 fishing piers and a limited access boat ramp with parking nearby for trailers. Only boats with small electric motors are allowed on the lake, so keep that in mind if you're bringing a boat along. Boat and canoe rentals are available seasonally. A 5-mile hiking trail leads to Big Creek Scenic Area, and there's access to part of a 100-mile Lone Star hiking trail. I don't think I'm going to be doing that anytime soon, but it's out there if you want to go ahead and enjoy it. Swimmers can relax on a sandy beach after taking a cool plunge. Take a look at all their activities and amenities. It's right there on their website. Also, quite a few know-before-you-go items. I'm going to have a link to it on Happy Camper Radio all week long. If you want to check it out, if you want to put it on your calendar when you go there camping anytime, It's a great place to go camping if you're in the Houston, Texas area. Definitely check it on out, and be sure to look up Andrew Martin while you're out there, too. It's Double Lake Recreation Area in Texas. It is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip Huber. HappyCamperRadio.com.
And if you have a campground that you would like for us to feature on the program, I'd love to know about it. So would our listeners. Get in touch with me, Skip, SKIP, at HappyCamperRadio.com. Be sure to include a link to the campground website. And that's going to wrap up today's episode of the Happy Camper Radio Show. Always a pleasure to get behind the microphone and drum up a good conversation about camping. My camping season is in full gear right now. I'll tell you where I'm going to be going to next. Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. Do exactly like I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. You can find us online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Cam Talker, add us to Circles on Google+, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and no doubt about it, my friends, hang around with me long enough, I'll make a happy camper out of you. Take care, everybody. This is Happy Camper Radio.
Happy Camper Radio.